We'll breed to them for $300. We get $300 stud fee.
And I thought it was a friendship thing.
Usually whoever has the stud, they get pick of the litter, not what's left over.
Sometimes you can put a female in with a male and she'll eat him up or, bite him, or you can have a lot of damage done.
My baby,
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You say you had a contract with the defendant to breed your dogs?
There was an oral agreement.
Oral agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right. When was that made, sir?
The first week in April of '98.
And where?
At my house.
Your house? Who was present?
Frank Fernandez. He gave me a copy of a notarized copy of him being there, and heard the conversation.
You know this Frank Fernandez?
Nope.
Was he there when you were there talking about this?
There wasn't anyone there when we first discussed some breeding, which...
In April of '98?
Actually, earlier in the year of '98, not sure of the exact date, I dropped over there to offer him a dog for training that he did not train Chesapeake, water dogs. I didn't know that. To give him one, and
but this fellow Frank Fernandez was not there?
I don't even know him. There wasn't anybody there the morning that we had talked about he was going to leave Ziggy there.
The more we had talked about breeding to her dog prior to this, but the day that she drove to my house, she had two dogs with her, neither one of these. She had, you had Jackie O and Jackie O's pup with you, and you drove up in the pickup. That was right before I left on my trip. Is that correct?
I don't even remember that day. It's a possibility, but
I believe it was the 7th of April.
No,
okay,
I don't
all
believe
right.
we discussed
1st of April.
breeding.
What did you say and what did she say?
Okay, Mrs. Shelley drove up and...
No, I asked you what you said and what she said. I've already got you there.
Okay. She asked me to breed to the dog, and I said, yeah, we'll breed to him for $300. We get $300 stud fee, but I'm leaving to go out of state. Then she said, well, how am I going to breed to the dog? And I said, well, I'll leave the dog here, and Vicky can bring it later on, because I was leaving for 6 weeks. I can leave the dog here, you make arrangements with Vicky while I'm gone, and you can breed when your bitch comes in season.
All right.
That was the day Frank was there.
All right. And then what happened?
Then I left, and then Vicky kind of takes over from there.
All right, let's...
It was Tuesday, the 7th of April, and I'd come home from work about 4:30. I normally get home between 4:30 and 4:45. And Mrs. Shelley was in the driveway, her pickup, and the two dogs, she'd already put her female in the kennel with our male, and they were tied, they were breeding. And Ron Holmes, another client of ours, had just drove up behind me, and he saw the dogs that they were breeding also at that time. But she'd already put the female in the kennel, and like I say, they were breeding, and I was not at home. And when Dave left, he had said that she would call me and make an appointment and come over, and then we would do it. Because you never know, sometimes you can put a female in with a male and she'll eat him up or bite him, or you can have a lot of damage done.
Who was there?
And this is a letter from Ron Holmes, our other client, that he has bird dogs.
You know Ron
with us.
Holmes?
There was a guy that came one day to take the dogs,
He said he was there on
dogs.
April 7th.
Yeah.
You had the dogs were in the kennel?
Okay. When I came there on April 7th, the only person there was the babysitter and grandkids.
He says as he drove into the driveway, you were getting out of your car, and he observed an unknown female in the location of the kennel, and 2 Jack Russells were being bred.
The only person there at the time I arrived was the babysitter and grandkids, and I talked.
Was there another person in a truck?
A person might have come a little later to take, and I don't even remember. No, it was nobody came there. The day that.
Okay,
there was another
did you
day.
bring your dog there?
Yes, I did. Oh, certainly. Mm-hmm.
And they did breed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not denying
Any puppies
that.
born?
Oh, 3. Mm-hmm.
3.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do with them?
The first one was actually, can I tell you the whole, we're missing a lot here, or do you just want to hear certain things?
I want to hear certain things at least first.
Okay. What did we do with them? I still have the female for him, but he wouldn't take her.
Okay.
There were two boys. There were two boy dogs. Which
What did you do with those?
One was sold for $250 to a highway patrolman in Eureka, and the other one was sold to a person that works for the Sacramento Bee, and I have their statement here and a picture of the puppy.
What'd you sell that one for?
$300.
What's the one that you have left? What's it worth?
The female, she
Yeah.
should be worth $350 to $400 is normally what the females sell for.
Is that
The females are worth more than the males.
Is that the puppy?
This is the female. This is Blanca. I named her Blanca because she's white, like her dad.
And you would rather have the money rather than the puppy?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Also,
She says it's worth $350.
I realize that if she can get $350 or $400. In fact, I brought a newspaper, the Sunday newspaper, and they sell anywhere from $300 to $600 a puppy. However, we have another one that we have our own pups.
Okay.
So I don't need a pup. I wanted the stud fee.
What's the
that?
custom in the industry, if we may call it that,
Okay.
about paying a stud fee?
All right, it's hard to say what a custom is because I can tell you what I have done with my male. I had a male that was registered Jack Russell Terrier Club, pedigreed and everything, and I bred 3 females the year that not the year I used this puppy, but the year before, for $100 a piece. I kept them at my house for 2 weeks, the females.
You only paid $100 for a stud fee?
They paid me.
They paid you, I mean.
I have the male, but he got hit by a car, so I didn't
Have you ever
have
done
him.
business with the plaintiffs before?
Not on a monetary basis. Yes, I sold him a puppy a year and a half previous to this occasion. He came and wanted a female for his wife for Christmas, a female puppy. They gave me a deposit. I let him pick the one. Normally the females were selling for $350, but he had a friend in Santa Rosa, an attorney friend. He referred him and told him they were $350 for the boys, so I took $50 off of his price, so he got his female for $300.
Is there a custom with respect to fees for,
Yes.
for
In
stud
fact,
fees?
I also have a photocopy of a check from another lady that bred to us, and this is her. She paid me $300. And also, if I was to choose a pup and rather than the stud fee, usually whoever has the stud, they get pick of the litter, not what's left over. That's usually a customary thing.
Is that
But I
correct,
didn't
ma'am?
want a pup.
Well, there wasn't even anything discussed as to
No,
what.
no, I'm not talking about a
Oh.
discussion. We're talking
Okay.
about custom.
Well, I don't know. I told you what I did. $100. I bred 3 outside dogs. I supplied them with registration for their puppies, which I did. This dog, at the time we talked about Ziggy, he was not a registered dog, nor had he a pedigree. It was given to him. So what he told me when he first showed me the dog, he was a gift. And it was a spur of the moment breeding, and I thought it was a friendship thing, that I.
How long have you been friends?
Oh gosh, I've known him for 15 years.
18 years.
18 years. Okay, a while because they
No
live out
longer
in Pleasant
friends?
Grove. Well,
Oh,
sure. Yeah.
I have nothing
Yeah.
against Mr. Shaw.
You just want your money.
It's just we wouldn't agree to
stud
any
fee.
stud fee or price. There was nothing mentioned because I wouldn't have bred for $300. I honestly would not spend that kind of money to breed
What you get?
my dog.
But you got $250 and $300.
Right,
And you're saying you can get $350 for this one.
Well, that's what they're worth. I haven't even really made a big effort to sell her because I thought that he would want the female, which is usually the most expensive one in the litter.
Okay.
The other male looked exactly like this little girl, only white, but a boy. Then I sold him for less because. of the
What did you
coloring.
want to tell me that I haven't asked you so far?
The fact that we never discussed a $300 fee till after the thing was done, and I thought it was a friendship.
After the thing was done,
After
then,
the mating had taken place,
Then did
the
you-
puppies were well on their way of, being.
what did you discuss at that time?
He came over one day and said, "Ziggy's my wife's dog, and she gets $300 stud fee for her dog." And I said, "Gee, I've only ever charged $100 to people, and I don't mind paying you that, but $300, especially for a dog that isn't registered or can't supply anybody with a pedigree on the puppies, that's out of the question."
Your Honor,
I wouldn't have
I do
spent
have a
$300.
pedigree, but I wouldn't give her one because I didn't get any money. And there was another thing that went on. When I went over to Mrs. Shelley's when I came home from my trip, I saw the bitch was pregnant, and she said, "I think she's only going to have 3 or 4 pups." After the pups were born, I went and looked at them, and she said, "Well, these 2 are out of your dog, but this one's out of another dog I bred to. And I said, what are you talking about, another dog you bred to? She said, well, a friend of mine had a dog with color, and I bred to that after I bred to your dog.
No,
So
before.
I believe
Before.
this one is out of your dog.
Okay.
These two are out of your dog. So I said, would you be willing to take the bitch and the pups, and I'll take my dog, and we'll go to UC Davis, have a DNA test run. I'll pay for the test if they're not out of my dog, and if they are, you pay for the test and give me my money. But she didn't want to do it.
This dog is my original stud dog, Kojak, right there. I had sold one of the litter.
Oh.
Well, there it goes.
You lost one.
I sold one
Blanco.
of this litter. One of his full brothers
No.
is the one I first bred this dog to. But the girl had to go to Europe. We could only breed her for a week. And she was still in heat 5 days after they brought her home and they took their European trip. And I thought, well, she's not going to have puppies this litter because she's still in heat. And if they stay in heat that long, they normally don't. So I took her over to Dave's, and she was still teasing my other little male who wasn't old enough to breed her, and went ahead and bred her to Ziggy because he said he'd leave him home for that purpose. So I did. So two of the puppies, exactly like Ziggy, and one of the puppies,
This is Izzy.
just like Izzy. I'm sorry, I'm getting the Z's in the wrong place, but
Okay.
I mean, so
Well, that can happen. I mean, you can get
you don't
litters
get
out of two different studs. But the thing is,
You don't normally do that.
No, but when she never made arrangements and just came over, she went into a building, into an individual kennel to breed. Nobody was there.
Yeah, your babysitter
nobody
was
was
there.
at our house
Your
at all.
babysitter was there.
We didn't have a babysitter.
You did, and the grandkids were playing in the yard because I played ball with them while we were waiting for them to untie.
Well, I'm not going to argue.
I
However,
wish you'd have brought your kids or the babysitter.
she had to go into the kennel, and then an
Exactly.
individual kennel, and I have pictures of how she had to get in there.
Right. You just walk right in
Yeah,
there, open
our
the door, and put
building's
them
right
in.
there.
And the
That's
kids
the
were
building.
waiting
This is the
outside.
outside
We played
building.
in the yard while they were doing
But,
their thing.
you know,
You
dogs-
arrived home from the shopping
Dogs coulda got
with your
out.
daughter. Well, you can
No, I
finish,
came
but
home
then you're
from
not
work.
telling the truth.
I came home from work.
And didn't, work or somebody
All
was
right.
in a little car
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
And,
I think
and you didn't say anything but hi.
You can
and that
keep
was
talking
it.
to each other, and I'm going to leave, and then I'll come back and give you my decision.
All right.
You keep talking.
Thank you.
No, originally I plan on paying for the dog because I understand it's my obligation, but at the same time we've been having some behavioral problems with her.
I understand she's had some problems, but, Your Honor, that's not my problem, you know.
No, sir, I sent a payment to him and he sent it back to me.
Remain seated. This court is again in session.
Ms. Shelley, first of all, I want you to, the bailiff handed me that affidavit that you submitted, and I read it. I find, first of all, that there was no oral agreement between the parties as to whether there was to be a stud fee or how much it was to be. I don't think there was any meeting of the minds, at least not at the time that the parties first talked about it. But I do find that the defendant used plaintiff's dog for breeding purposes. And the reasonable value of the use of those services, the thing that normally takes place is you get the first of the litter, choice of the first of the litter, or you get a stud fee. He doesn't want, well, first of all, he wasn't given the chance of, or the choice of having first of the litter. He's giving what's left over. He doesn't want a female dog because he has a female dog to breed. The reasonable value of the use of the dog, from my experience, what I've heard many, many cases now, is approximately the cost of one puppy. $300 is not unreasonable. You got one, sold one for $250, one for $300. This one you say you could sell for $350. So $300 is a reasonable amount. My judgment is for plaintiff for $300.
Thank you. I feel it's too bad we had to do it, but we just came to, I guess, a disagreement, and or like the judge said, maybe we didn't quite have the understanding at the beginning. But I'm glad it's over, and I hope we still can talk. And
Right.
I played with some kids. I hope they were theirs. They were that and the babysitter, and And she arrived home, and I thought they were Easter shopping or something, and I thought it was her daughter in the car.
Yeah, I think I know what she's talking about now. It was the day she first came to talk with Dave about doing the breeding. Our daughter and grandkids were there that day, and we had gone Easter shopping and come back.
Nope, that was the day we were doing it, because that's why I was in the yard playing with the kids while the dogs were tied together. They stayed together 15 minutes, you know. You have to wait.
At least
so.
15, 20 minutes.
So anyway, that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. The judgment
Yep.
was okay, and they're supplying me with a signed pedigree so I can have the puppies registered if the buyer so desire.
That's the best part.
Right.